we'll get up and running. So we have some kind of cool changes we want to talk to everybody about. It's sort of changes, but sort of just back to our roots in terms of the support that we're receiving from the Vertical Flight Society, who's always been our sponsor and got this organization up and running, and the working groups up and running, and they're going to be taking a even more increased role in the support in helping us to kind of keep the working groups going and work on our white paper and speakers and doing all the great things that we do. But we'll be building on our relationship with Vertical Flight Society, which is a wonderful thing because they have incredible events, an awesome magazine, which because my company's product, Blackfly, is on the cover of the current issue. I'm a huge fan of the magazine, but I always have loved it. It's fantastic, and it's just in perfect alignment with all that we're doing here. So we've got Nicholas Zart and Mike Hirschberg, both with Vertical Flight Society, and I just asked them to jump on and, sort of, we know them already, but to the extent that anybody doesn't, maybe we could do a quick intro and then just talk about how we're going to keep moving forward and upward and onward with all that we're doing in the white paper and our discussions. And then in a little bit, I'll talk about and reintroduce a current longtime member, Dr. Marielena Pavel, who's going to be increasing her role with us in terms of helping out with taking a leadership role on our white paper and keeping the momentum going there. She has tremendous experience, having already done that very successfully in working with many other papers, including working group 4s with Johnny Dew and that team. So we'll do an intro in a little bit. But Nicholas, should I hand it over to you and just introduce you? I know you. I had previously, before you joined Vertical Flight Society, I knew you fairly well from all your amazing articles. You are a wonderful author. Your magazine and everything I've read that you've done was just captivating, and so much so that, and I don't usually do this, I went and found you on LinkedIn. I said, this guy just consistently does great work, and I want to be best friends with him. So we connected before, and I didn't know that we'd ever get the chance to work together, but I'm glad that we will now. But anyway, would you like to do a quick intro and talk about your role and how we can all work together?
Absolutely. Well, thank you. That was a very kind introduction, but I would be nothing without my editor. Hint, hint, Mike, right? So yes, indeed, my name is Nicholas Zart, and I'm the Director of Strategic Development at the Vertical Flight Society. And so I'll hand it off to Mike in just a second. But just, yes, indeed, I've been covering electric mobility for the last 15 years. So I'm very intimate with everything that's happening and everything around it and everything. And in 2015, saw the very first electric airplanes take off, no pun intended. And so that's right around the time where Mike and I got together talking about, golly gee, when do we use eVTOL? When do we use UAM? I was pushing for electric air mobility. That never took on, but advanced air mobility took on and took off. So lo and behold, all of a sudden I was writing for Vertiflight, and that was a very incredible experience, just not only just being published, but really working with the people we're all working with. So without further ado, I think it would be best if Mike takes it over from here. He's our executive director and has been so since, I believe it was 2011, Mike, but I'll let you take it from there. And thank you, everyone. And I look forward to working with you all. And Andy's my best friend.
Yeah, so I wish I could get somebody to give me such a nice intro, Andy. So thank you. That was very thoughtful of you. And that's why we hired Nicholas, right? I mean, he's a recognized leader and expert in this area. And for those of you who knew him, he replaces Jim Sherman, who used to be here as our director of strategic development. Nicholas suggested I had offered that I could give a presentation, and I have some slides, which I think instead of actually presenting them, maybe I will just, maybe Nicholas could email them. I'd rather you guys spend time on your meeting. But I'll just hit because these are some slides I presented at one of our military helicopter conferences a few weeks ago. But it's really mainly on the stuff we do, technology and eVTOL. But we were founded in 1943 as the American Helicopter Society. But for the last 50, 60 years, we've been looking at global vertical flight of all time. So back in the Harrier and Osprey and F-35 days and UAS, VTOL UAS, and everything else. We're about the technology. We're a charitable nonprofit, so we're not a business league. We're not a trade association. We're not really about the sales and stuff of the from that perspective. We're about you, the people, and how can we help you as experts and as people in the industry and industry, academia, and government. How can we provide you with resources and knowledge that you can advance your expertise and your company's expertise, or whether industry, academia, and government. So our members are from across the spectrum around the world, from universities, companies, government agencies. We have a lot of participation from NASA and the Army and universities around the world. And we saw this eVTOL revolution in 2013, and we had the first Transformative Vertical Flight Working Group, the world's first eVTOL symposium or eVTOL meeting in 2014. And so the first 5 events were called TVF. And we started working with NARI on developing a roadmap for these different technology areas, and I got a lot of support from the late Mike Dudley, who was a real leader and inspiration. And our second and third workshops, we started focusing on really crowdsourcing these this larger group, and then broke down into the 4 mission areas. And that was launched in June of 2014, where Johnny Dew and other people stood up and said, "Yes, I will lead this specific, working group." He was working group 4. So it's been really great over the last 5 years, I guess. Obviously the industry has been transformative, and just we're very happy to do the different events we do and bring people together and support this group, and happy to take over some of the leadership in the infrastructure area of providing the management support for the TVF working group, so that you guys can keep meeting and doing great stuff. And appreciate all the people that's called in here and all the people in the working group, and Alina and others at NASA who at NARI who've been such a great hands-on support to making this do great things. And Nicholas will be your staff contact from Vertical Flight Society. So anything you guys need, tell him, and we'll see what we can do.
That's fantastic, Mike. And so just to give people that we're just concluding a transition. So our support, I think, and Mike, tell me if I'm phrasing this correctly. We started out and always have been a Vertical Flight Society sponsored entity, and along the way we received additional support from NASA NARI, and so the transition now is that's going to revert back. Our support will revert back to exactly where it has always been and where it started with Vertical Flight Society, and so that NASA NARI they have some AAM working groups, and that's going to be their focus. And now we get to be a big fish in a small pond as the working groups that are affiliated and associated with Vertical Flight Society, which we always have been. But now we get the added benefit of working with you and particularly Nicholas more closely, and just build and strengthen our alignment with the organization. Am I paraphrasing that all correctly?
Yeah, I mean, NARI had a leadership role from the very beginning and saying, hey, there's this web meeting kinds of stuff. It was Adobe Connect back in the day, and we can have virtual meetings. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. So NARI was providing that, I'll say, infrastructure of facilitating the meetings. It's always been a joint. They've always been joint working groups, and I'll say it was leaned a little more towards NASA as in the leadership role, and now it's leaning a bit more towards VFS. But it's been a cooperative and collaborative effort. So we appreciate NASA's and NARI's support to the extent that they're able to provide it, and we'll make sure that we fill in any, that we do everything else needed to make it successful.
That's fantastic.
And also, as many of you said, it really is about like transformative flight anyway. So we're moving forward regardless of the infrastructure.
Perfect.
And by infrastructure, again, I mean like who's actually sending out the web meeting notices and things like that, and calling in, and Nicholas will be, I guess Nicholas is leading that now.
And I did send a link to the team with this meeting invitation to our new website being hosted by Vertical Flight Society, which is great. It looks very similar, but we'll be able to build that out on the Vertical Flight Society. And, I'm excited about the idea of maybe doing more social media. We always want more members that are interested in joining. And so perhaps there'll be opportunities to do that and interface with your really, really just world-class meetings that you put together in this space. And towards that end, could you give us just like a briefing of what to be looking forward to in terms of events coming up the remainder of this year and next year?
Yeah, I'll do that first, and Nicholas can fix anything I say. So we don't have anything really on the calendar for the rest of this year, other than I'm supporting. This is week 6 of like almost 8 straight weeks of travel. And so we've done a lot in the last several weeks, but I'm in 10 days, we have an event in Germany, in Munich. We're doing a full day of like 20-some future air mobility initiatives. I think Nicholas's idea of electric air mobility, maybe that's what we should have gone with, since advanced air mobility is so nebulous, it's not really that meaningful. But anyway, yeah. So the big thing that we're working on, that Nicholas is working on, is our January event, which isn't actually named Transformative Vertical Flight, but it's a branding thing. It will be in the future. But when we have it in the San Francisco area, it's called TVF. But this is with it'll be in Mesa near Phoenix. It's with our Arizona chapter. And so it's looking at the technical aspect. The technical papers are going to be focused more on autonomy. But then there's the symposium, the Electric VTOL Symposium, and it's our 10th annual event. So that's really exciting. And we're expecting about 500 attendees in total. We'll have leaders from the eVTOL industry and across the spectrum that'll be speaking. We're planning on a short course, so on the Monday, full day short course on electric VTOL design with a world expert in that, one of the pioneers, Dr. James Wong. And then on the Friday, we're planning to have a tour of air taxi aircraft, such as the Open or Black Fly, we hope. And that'll be at the Sky Harbor, the Phoenix Airport, as people can transition to that and then fly out if they need to. So it's going to be a really exciting event. And we are and we're laying out all the plans and stuff. And I'm going to post in here in the chat that specific URL.
I just beat you to it.
And it's the same as what it's a different words, but different letters, but the same thing. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and if you look at that's a good one there. If you look at the events calendar, you can see the other thing. So in March, we have our second annual H2 eVTOL or hydrogen workshop. So we're kind of where we are with hydrogen now, where we were 8 years ago or so with eVTOL, and that's also very exciting. And that's focused not on hydrogen burning, but on hydrogen fuel cells for electric power which we think would really be a game changer for the longer range aircraft. But yeah, I mean, we also have all kinds of, webinars and web meetings and working groups and all kinds of exciting stuff that, we encourage you guys to join VFS if you're not already a member, and join our working groups, or, get involved with our technical committees, come to our meetings. And then our big annual event is the annual forum, where we have about 1,300 people, and that's across the spectrum of vertical flight, so helicopters, drones, VTOL, military rotorcraft, eVTOL, and we always have a whole day of eVTOL discussions planned for that. So anyway, lots of exciting stuff. So thanks, Andy.
Love it. I can't wait. Nicholas?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, please go and check out vtol.org/events, and you'll get an idea of all the events we put on. Also, look at the webinars that we have. We still have a lot of these until the end of the year. In fact, we're busy every week. There's always something going on and whatever. On a very personal level, as a journalist, I've been to a lot of events in my life, but I've never been to events where people say, wow, I learned more than I thought I would. Wow, what an incredible panel this was. And even things like, wow, the AV was fantastic. And the last one I heard, which really blew my socks off, is, wow, the food was good. And this was just the market, right? I mean, I'm like, ooh. So it's a point of pride too. We do a lot of work here, and we've been doing it for a long time, and it's nice to get the recognition. So please go and check it out, vtol.org/events. And you can see what's happening. Indeed, the next one is Mesa, and that's the one I'm very excited about. It's half of a local chapter meeting, and it's our symposium. So the next big one in Long Beach, California, where I think we're the only ones who are putting on a hydrogen symposium out there, right? I mean, it's unheard of.
It's really weird that we're leading hydrogen aviation in the U.S. It's really big in Europe and Asia, but we are the leaders of hydrogen aviation in North America, which is a little mind blowing. But it's a game changer for longer range eVTOL. So I just want to say I posted in a short URL, vtol.org/tvf. This is a summary of our past and upcoming events, meetings and such on TVF, eVTOL, and hydrogen. And at the bottom of that page is something specifically on the working groups with a link. And we don't have a short one yet. We will.
Oh, here, I was going to put it up for you.
And Mike, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but I always have issues with not being able to see the chat, and I've heard that feedback from other people as well. So to the extent that you have time, maybe you could also bounce that link to me, and then I can send it to the whole team with a follow-up email if that's all right as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know if I was maybe muted, but say that again. You were.
Yeah, so we have issues with chat in Microsoft Teams, so I can't see it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's just always been that way, and I've heard that feedback from others. So maybe you could send me a link via email as well, and then I'll distribute it to the team.
Yeah, roger that.
We'll do that, and we're looking at other solutions right now to make sure that everybody can access, because I also have problems for some reason, with Meet. So we might go the Zoom route. We haven't figured it out yet, but we're leaning towards that direction. I think everybody, unless you tell me so now, everybody, Zoom works for everyone so far as I can hear. So
yeah.
So okay, yeah, that just sounds.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, yeah.
So
sorry about that. I've forgotten. So vtol.org is our site. vtol.org/events is about events, and then vtol.org/tvf is about tvf. And at the bottom of that is a link to the working groups, and we're going to come up with a shorter version for that. We haven't made that yet.
And
okay, perfect.
Also, check out evtol.news. That's our publication news sister website, and that's where we cover a lot of news. We also have a printed magazine called Vertiflight. Highly encourage you to have a look at it. Very good quality, not only in the publication itself, but the content. And I don't write for it anymore, so really this is really all about the other authors.
I'm gonna get the magazine that has a black fly on the cover in a minute. But
yes, we have it right around here, so it's yes. Just like a black fly to somebody who works at the World Bank right before this. So you see, there you go.
I I cut the cover off mine because I'm going to frame it. It's so beautiful.
Oh, good.
So
Thank
that's a good segue to a couple things. One of them is that your library at vtool.org of recordings and articles is just bar none the best on the subject that there is. You have an extensive library of videos, of events, speakers, and great articles. How do we all get access to everything in that repository?
Sure. And since you don't have the chat, I can share my screen if you would like, Andy. Would that be
Yeah,
would that be a good thing to do? Oops.
great, love it.
Hit the wrong one again.
And I don't want to take up more time than you guys are going to spend. I don't know if you have other things planned.
I wanted to focus on this. I haven't planned other things. We'll talk about the white paper in a few minutes, and we'll go there. But take all the time you need.
Okay. Well, I'll take all the time that you want me to because I could talk all day, right?
Please.
So I mentioned, so let's go back here to the main page. So we're the Vertical Flight Society, so it's everything related to vertical flight and specifically or particularly the technology, right? So on the left-hand side of the page, you see our upcoming events. We have a lot of events. On the right side is some of the recent news. So we just did a press release on workforce, really looking at DEI needs. And then some of the other stuff we've done on education, and just Andy mentioned the Vertiflight magazine. So if you're a member, you get free access to not only the current issue, but every issue of Vertiflight ever. We've had them all digitized, so that's a free service for members. If you're not a member, join today. And we just had a board meeting yesterday where we have to raise rates. It's been 5 years since we raised rates, so you should join by the end of the year so that you can take advantage of the lower rates. And we also have multi-year discounts on our. And we're a little bit behind on updating it, but vtool.org/videos, which you can also get to from under Education Vertical Flight Video Library. We have links to our video collections. So things in general, things that you have to pay to attend. If you have to pay one of our workshops, for instance, we just had a workshop on infrastructure a few weeks ago, which Nicholas was at, and that was one of the ones where people were saying this is like the best event I've ever been to in my entire life. It was great. It was a workshop. You guys, we broke into working groups and we were able to talk. So in this case, since there was a fee to attend, it's the same fee whether you're in person or virtual, and we have all those recordings that are also available the same way. We don't have it posted yet, but so you can purchase attendance, purchase that video. But we do have tons of stuff on YouTube that's available for free for the world, and we also have tons of videos that are available for free if you're a member. So here under Education Video, our video library, you can see some of the ones that are members only. And then, like I said, on our YouTube channel, we have lots of stuff. And like we had a panel at Heli Expo in March, hour-and-a-half panel, and this was free to attend, and it's free to participate or watch on YouTube. And it was, we had world experts from NASA and FAA and different companies on the technology of quiet and plans for quiet, which is really important, for short range and urban air mobility applications. Anything else that you want me to talk about?
How many videos would you estimate that you have posted on YouTube?
Well, on YouTube, including non-eVTOL stuff, it's several hundred. I don't know if I guess I could go to my account and it should tell me it's got. I mean, I have 20,000, almost 20,000, 19,000 subscribers.
Yeah, So some advice for everybody: be a subscriber. You want to know whenever one of these videos gets posted. They're really, really good. They're free. They're easy to access from your phone or computer, and it's just spectacular content.
Somewhere on this page, I think it tells me how many videos we have. But yeah, and then like I said, we have a lot of stuff for we have a lot of stuff that's just for members, because if you're a member, you get access to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely worth being a member and then subscribing to this as well. I do both, and it's just a wonderful resource. My only, the only downside is there's just so much content here that it's like, oh my gosh. So that's why I like subscribing. So then as anything pops up, I can watch it, and then I can always do searches and dig through as a member the website to find what I'm looking for there. But there's a lot of great material because you've been doing this for so long.
Right. And that's actually it's actually a problem for us, because we have so much great content, like just trying to get people's attention that, hey, we got this new report out, we got this new video out, we got this new we have this new upcoming event, we have the proceedings from this conference available. So it's a bit hard from the marketing perspective to get people to see everything we're doing.
Yeah, that's a lot. And then circling back on, Nicholas, what you were mentioning a moment ago about maybe using Zoom going forward, that's a good segue into the fact that we'll use a different path and a different set of invitations going forward after this meeting. So this is the last one we'll do under the link that we've been using for under NASA NARI umbrella, and then we'll develop a new one going forward. And for our meetings henceforth, it'll be through whatever solution we decided to use from now on.
Yes, and in the meantime, I did post all the links in the chat. I know you can't see them, but I will put them together, and either Mike or I will send them to you so that you can tell everybody. There's also a lot more. We have short courses. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to actually put in even 20 minutes to explain what we do. But you can knock yourself out on your downtime if you have any.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll just highlight here some of the things in the past couple of weeks. We've posted all these videos from Oshkosh, right? So we have interviews with Electra Aero, and from Agility Prime and Talon, and helicopter stuff too. A lot of stuff on advanced air mobility. So just a lot of really cool stuff.
And pretty soon you'll see me lending the Elia 250, really hard lending. So next is the opener, please. And that was a simulator. I should say in a simulator, right? Okay. $50 million. Woo.
Yeah, and we did. So we've been working with Opener for a long time, and I think we have an interview from Oshkosh this time. But before the pandemic, we did a number of extensive interviews with Opener on the Blackfly work. So it's anyway, a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, it's wonderful content. I encourage everybody to start to review it and keep an eye on it and subscribe and also become a member. Okay, I'm going to pivot to the white paper in a minute, but anything else that we should talk about with respect to our strengthening alignments?
No, I think you've covered it all. I think everything has been said. I mean, we're very excited. We've been working closely with you guys for a long time. So it's exciting to, whether it's hosted over here or over there, it doesn't matter. We're just excited getting PVF out there and continuing the good work. And speaking of a segue, I'm especially excited about the white paper, and I'm especially excited about who you run on board to help.
Perfect. Well, so that sets me up nicely to talk about one of our very long time day one members, Dr. Marilena Pavel, and hopefully she's on the call with us. But I wanted to do a quick intro I think most of us know her already, especially from her great work with Johnny Dew in Working Group 4. She was a key author and contributor to their white paper, and she's got a fantastic academic career, specifically in this space that spans more than 30 years, focusing on vertical lift aircraft. Her writing style is fantastic. She's a great author, and she's just an expert in leading projects like this and writing and developing pieces like what we're talking about doing. But quick intro, there she is. Dr. Burrell is an associate professor within the aerospace engineering faculty at Delft University in the Netherlands. And she's focused on teaching courses in helicopter flight dynamics, flight simulation and control, among many other topics, and has a master's degree, PhD in the subject, and a tremendous amount of experience in really great substantive work and writing on various topics within this field, including the great work in the working group for white paper. So that's a short, long introduction.
Thank you.
And the reason is that you're going to be taking a leadership role within this group in terms of helping us to move forward on the white paper.
Thank you. So good afternoon from Delft, in the Netherlands. So you see here back is the library at the TU Delft. TU Delft is a big university, technical university in the Netherlands. We have a faculty of aerospace engineering, about 1,500 students. So it's a lot of teaching tasks and research, but I am, I think, already for 20 years a VFS member. So I know Vertiflight very good. I like it, and thank you, Nicolas, for all the good writings. And then Mike, I saw him in September in Zurich at the European Rotorcraft Forum. And I will go to the European Rotors in Köln in November. So I work with Johnny doing the TVF4, and it always has been a great pleasure to work in TVF4 with Johnny. And I'm enjoying now this new group with Andy and Chuck. And I hope that we can put together a white paper in order to, let's say, motivate people towards this kind of development. It doesn't have to be only positive things. I would say plus and minuses. It's always the best. We have created a template on a few case studies. And I took some of them. The most difficult part is in a white paper, how do you motivate people to start really writing? Because everybody has a very busy schedule. So I have the same problem in Delft. So usually I take the first step. So I would like to put some thoughts and then discuss with the rest. For example, there is, I'm happy that Dusan is online, because we had the recreational use, the case study 1. And I said I'm with him in this case study. So I think we will try to do a kind of small, starting from one case, and then we can increase, let's say, everybody to write a little bit on its own case and try to work towards a white paper. Normally, we should give us a deadline. Deadlines are important. So I do not know by when is that the plan. It should be, I think, towards next January, February, something like that. So that's quite an that's kind of a challenging deadline. Yeah, I think the best way is to have now and then, let's say, separate mails with the people involved in the case studies. So I will try to work on that.
Yeah, you know, I any big project, I like to begin with the end in mind, and so you've kind of touched on that. Like, what do we target in terms of completion time, and then what do? We've got a white paper. Now what? Well, we've got this wonderful alignment with an incredible organization in the Vertical Flight Society that has wonderful events, and we've got one coming up in January in Mesa, and then is it March in Florida, the big one?
I think it's April in Florida.
April, okay. Yeah.
It's in May. That's the VFS, no?
Yes,
Okay.
it is me.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
And so, how could we interface and use that to kind of spread the word about our white paper, Nicholas? Will there be an opportunity potentially if we complete the white paper or have it mostly roughed out for us to present at one of those events?
Well, if that might be a better question for Mike. If you
Yeah.
ask yes always and in any ways possible, but I think Mike might be a better person to answer that.
Sure.
Yeah, and so we want to do whatever we can to help support you guys and the whole eVTOL revolution. So, so Marilena, I think you said that you're shooting for February for the. Was that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the TVF event's the end of January. So probably the next event and the next opportunity then would be at the annual forum in Florida in May. That's 16 to 18 May in Palm Beach, Florida. So yeah, we can definitely have a session or a series of talks on the TVF working groups and whatever else you guys would like.
That'd be fantastic. That'll give us something kind of to shoot for and to look forward to. And is that something that Johnny you're working on? You've done an incredible white paper already, and then I think I'd heard you talk about maybe even doing some next level work as well. Is that ongoing?
Yeah, yeah, it's quite a bit lesson learned, both from the working group team member. Many people contribute to the last white paper, the working group 4 white paper for public services. Just listen to the discussions. One possibility, if I may suggest, sorry, Marilena, if I put too much pressure on you, but perhaps have the team members able to get almost what I call the final draft together by the Arizona event, and in January, late January, that give it, you should have enough material to present. Maybe it's not released yet, and hopefully by the conference in May, we have went through the actual review, fine-tune detail process. Marina, you remember that the
Yes,
process.
I remember.
I
Yes.
think we're going to be able to do it faster this time.
Yeah.
And so that timing may be possible. Anyway, just a thought. Don't want to put pressure on either of you.
No, that I think that makes sense. And even if we may or may not have it done, it's a lot of work. But we certainly could do a deck about what we're working on and the point we're trying to make. And always we want more people participating, right? That's the fuel is our participants. And so if we're able to talk about what we're doing and make it and show people how interesting it is and valuable to be working on, then that can be a good time for us to say, hey, we want you to join too. We want you as a participant as well, and build our group within within that event as well.
Yeah, I'd like to say that the TVF, the eVTOL symposium in the end of January is that's focused more on eVTOL, and that would be the best venue to share it. And certainly you don't have to have the white paper completed to make a presentation. So Johnny I think briefed for several years as the report was being shaped and finalized and vetted and approved and published and everything else. So we can't give you guys 3 or 4 half-hour slots at both events, but we could certainly work with you guys to make sure you get an opportunity for discussion at one, or maybe a shorter discussion at both.
That would be great. So
we don't need 3 or 4 slots of half an hour slot. We just need 3 and 4 slots for half a day each. We're as good as you are. We can talk forever, right?
We're not being greedy. So
when you negotiate, you start from the top bar, right?
So Marilena and Johnny, I haven't been a star published white paper author like the two of you have, but paint the picture for me and the rest of us. tell us about the fortune and glory that goes along with this. It is. I'm half joking, but it is, I believe, a high honor to be an author of these papers as you have, to show that you're at the leading edge of this industry, and you're thinking about what we need to do next in terms of infrastructure, in terms of safety, in terms of aircraft design, all these things. Help me understand how it helps us. It's a great career booster, I think, and that would be something I think we're all interested in. But it also altruistically, I love any opportunity to find a place in safety or design where we can potentially save a life or two down the road by making recommendations that will be followed by industry. What are your thoughts?
Marina, you go ahead.
Yes, so definitely, I think in this work package, is this part of the TVF. It's also about flying. It's actually more about flying as a personal experience. It's about sport and fun, and I think we should put as well that together with the safety in the paper. And for the TVF4, that was a different angle, and I think it was more crucial, to develop that infrastructure for disasters, and I think that will always remain as a huge public acceptance to be used. And this TVF1, it's interesting because it gives a different angle. It gives more the idea of flying. And so I think we should more make the people enthusiastic on that on this part. So I think the best would be if we present something in January, and probably Johnny, you will also go in January to the forum.
Yeah.
So yes, Andy, I think it would be very good if you go and then you present something. I won't be there. I will usually go to the VFS in Florida. So I will try, because I am in the modeling and simulation committee. So I will be there. And hopefully we can try to put some important points for the moment. I mean, this white paper will be just a picture for how it is at the moment and what we think it will be in the future.
And I do want to say that for both the January and the March event, we will have that also live streamed. We won't have the ability to have people come and present, but it will be hybrid in the sense that people can watch it. The forum we're only doing in person, but we'll do recordings of the sessions.
Yes, thank you. And
Yeah,
I should also add that I'm so happy that I live in Europe and I am able to work with groups in United States. I think this is wonderful, and I'm very thankful. And I think it should be like this, that we get more closer and we understand more.
100%. So true.
We're very thankful that you're able to do it. I know the time zones is tough for everybody, but very much appreciate your help and leadership and support.
Johnny, did you have some comments?
I thought
I
think each white paper, because each working group has a different focus. So I believe that each white paper will serve its purposes, maybe slightly different from one to the other. But each one, I think just by having the critical information and knowledge collected and make sense of it and look ahead, both the opportunity and the challenges, I think that enable or attract a lot of attention. Ever since we published the Working Group 4 white paper, I got a lot of inquiries. From various reasons, from various parties, even people we have not thought about engaging. So from reaching out to expand activity and accomplishment and enabling the whole the industry, I think the white paper served a great value. In addition, I think the Working Group 4 white paper focused on public services, all kinds of missions. And as a, put it simply, okay, we're helping people and saving lives. Here's how we might be able to do that. I think the Working Group 1 paper will have a similar but different angle, that people may not have a large portion of the eVTOL community may not have paid as much attention for the personal use opportunities and the potential. It could be a great market for many companies. And I think the white paper will further enhance and may even be able to pave a way to consolidate some directions. You mentioned about safety. It's critically that the industry have common acknowledgement and practice toward that, with or without official regulation. To me, certification is always the minimum standard, not the maximum. So as a community, I think the white paper can definitely help excite the industry and look at the different opportunity use cases. I think it's a super, super great value. It's definitely worthwhile to be part of that, for sure.
That's perfect. One of the things that I like about it is that we have a vision. We're immersed in this, whereas the general population isn't. So we have a vision of what needs to be done next to keep moving forward. And the white paper can be a great place to say, look, this is the direction the highway needs to go, and this is what we need to do to accomplish all that we want to do. And it's a way for us to say, this is how, if you want to be involved as someone who's standing by the sidelines now but wants to jump in, this is what needs to be done. It gives businesses ideas on what they can be doing to create new sources of revenue and to continue to move our space forward.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We just have a few minutes left, so I thought I'd ask if there are any closing comments, and then if there's any questions that people have. I don't have any other comments to talk about. What questions can people think of about anything that we've talked about today?
Well, while we are waiting for input, may I make a salesman announcement? Next week, Thursday, is a regular TVF4 meeting, and we have a great honor that Colonel Diller has agreed to speak to us. So we will be sending out, Nicholas, I need your help coordinating to send out the meeting notice and so on. I'll send you the info. But it will be definitely anybody who is currently on this or able to watch a recording on this meeting. If you have time, we will send the meeting notice to everyone so that all our members have the chance to participate.
Perfect. I would definitely like to attend. That sounds great.
Yeah, and Colonel Diller has a very strong interest in VFS and the working groups and the stuff that Johnny Do has. I mean, I'll just plug Johnny for a minute, but Johnny, the TVF4 and Johnny Do's leadership helped to support what became Agility Prime. So he's very interested in the working groups and VFS and the great work that Johnny and the team has done.
Yeah, he's the one that strongly encouraged our white paper. Strongly encouraging, twist your arm behind your back 3 times.
Yeah, I remember.
I really appreciate his engagement and participation and support on this, all the activities. Yeah.
And I'll just say, Andy, thank you for jumping in here and leading this group. And even though we're all busy and scattered to the winds, and you're calling in from the airport, just great job running the meeting, and even under more difficult circumstances than usual.
I greatly appreciate that. You put a group like this together, and you're bound to have a little bit of fun.
For sure.
So.
Any other questions or comments before I jump on an aircraft and go to Las Vegas and cause trouble?
Yeah, Andy, I actually do have one question.
David Zimmer.
Hey. Yeah, sorry, I was dealing with some things at work, so I was in and out, and I might have missed the information, but all the links that got sent in the chat, any of those about this white paper, I wasn't really able to listen to all the details about the white paper or like what's going on with it. So if there's anywhere I can read a summary or update. Wasn't sure if any of those links were about it.
Yeah, so the short story is Dr. Marilena Pavel is going to be taking a leadership role in moving the white paper forward. We have roughed out outlines. We have started some writing, but we haven't made the progress that we'd like to. Mostly because of me. I've been crazy busy with my new job and working on recruiting to build out this group, and we'll continue to do so. And I'm not an expert in this. I'm good at what I do, but no one's better at this than people like Dr. Pavel and Johnny, because they've had experience writing white papers that have been published. And so that's going to be her role going forward, is to help show us how to keep moving forward with the white paper. So we have a framework that we've roughed out that I can share with you. That's on the group drive.
I send the link. That's on the Google Drive, David, and it's actually the template, So we would like to have a general introduction, and then some discussions on the certification, top level power sources, infrastructure, and aerospace, and then some business cases. And we had case 1 recreational use, case 2 personal use, case 3 corporate business use, and case 4. No, so we had 3 cases at the moment. That basically you find everything there.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll take a look at that document. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
It's malleable as we go, right? So this is, it's a framework. It's there for us to use or not use. So if we want to pivot one direction or another, that's very okay. The paper is what we want it to be.
Cool. Very cool.
Any other thoughts or questions before we wind it down? Well, thank you everybody for being here. This is a wonderful meeting, and I'm just thrilled about this. It's sort of like a fresh start in many ways. We have our wonderful new strengthening alliance with Vertical Flight Society. We have just one of the best leaders in the world for academics and putting together white paper like we are, and Dr. Pavel. So I just feel like I feel very rejuvenated and encouraged and enthusiastic about all that we're going to be able to accomplish together here. And we're doing it all because we've got just great members that love this sector and are immersed in it and want to see it continue to succeed. So thank you everybody that was here today, and thank you everybody that was able to make time to watch the recording afterwards. We'll keep building on this and pulling in interesting speakers and working forward on the white paper, and it's going to be a lot of fun. For next month, well before the meeting, we're going to work on getting everybody the new invitation links. We're going to send you some of the links that we talked about today, including the Google Drive, so that we can all take a look at that. And then our speaker for next month, I think we're going to have some of the folks from Deroni, which is a Florida-based, what will be a Part 23 certified light sport aircraft that I think is a 2-seater eVTOL. So they're in development, and they've got. I saw them at Oshkosh. Great aircraft and really cool things going on. So they're on the front end of the development process, building momentum, and it'll be really nice to hear from them about what they're doing. I'll continue to work on pulling in speakers and recruiting to pull in new members, and the engine behind our white paper can be Dr. Pavel, and I'm going to do everything I can to do some writing on my own, and then we'll all encourage each other to keep moving forward so that we'll have something fun to present at some of these upcoming Vertical Flight Society meetings.
Great, thanks, Andy, and I want to thank also Alina for all her support today and in the past and everything.
100%, yes.
Thank you.
I'm so.
I'll still be attending you guys' meetings time to time.
Please, I was so focused on the positive. There's a little negative in that you've been so wonderful to work with you every single time. You've been amazing, and so. But of course, you're lifetime membership with us, and thank you for all that you've done. You and Michael T as well.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Really
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good flight, Andy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Success. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Tot ziens, Marlena.